All right, good morning. Got Monday, July 31st. Um, just looking at the daily chart here. So you can see that we have this run up that we've been in lately. Gapped up on open, sold off. That was last Thursday. On Friday, we kind of had an inside bar, which means that we stuck within the range of Thursday's trading session, so we didn't break out. In terms of some levels, you can kind of see that we're almost in this little channel in here where we've kind of bounced in between. We opened above and sold right through. And then we closed pretty much right at that area. So I think a key thing, if you're looking to the upside, is do we maintain above this area and kind of break out of that range? Otherwise, we might be in this 451.5, 456-ish range in here. If we break below 451.5, I think that we could see, a lower low. Not that I'm saying that we'd fall that far in one day, but just some areas that we could potentially see us come down to if we break out of this support that we've been in for the past week or so. Oops. I'm trying to just, yeah. So that's what we're looking at there. Nothing too crazy. I'll look at the hourly chart. I'm gonna get a little bit of music playing here. See if we can't get some chill tunes going on. Alrighty, so over the weekend, I kind of assessed my trading in the past week, especially Thursday and Friday, where I had 2 losing days consecutively. What I realized is that I didn't have a plan that I was necessarily adhering to. I didn't have a set of rules that I was following. I didn't have criteria, strict criteria for entering a trade. And these things were burning me. It was allowing things like emotions to dictate trades rather than a rule set. Rather than just like objective analysis, I was going off of, the feeling of FOMO or wanting to make up the previous trade that I lost. So I took some time over the weekend to kind of back test some things, just really try to spend hours looking at charts and understanding how price moves, patterns to recognize different time frames maybe that I was looking at. But I made a list of rules for myself, and I'll go over that probably in my recap video today. But it's nothing crazy. It's nothing unheard of. It's just a set of rules to try to keep me from entering bad positions, and really try to limit the amount of trades I take so that the trades that I do take are quality. But with that being said, it's a new week. We'll be looking at implementing some of those. And so I'm gonna mark out some areas to watch here. So Friday's high. Sorry, I almost said yesterday. So we have. I might go into the 15-minute chart here just to get a bit more accuracy on some of these candles. So we have Friday's high and Friday's low, which I designate with green and red bars just so I can separate them. Sometimes when I get these levels marked out, I forget or I fail to differentiate which ones mean what. So yesterday's range I always mark with a red and a green for the high and the low. That just helps me understand where we're at. But yes, I would look at this range in here. Kind of this supply zone that we had from yesterday's high. Bit of a demand zone down here that we bounced. And I keep saying yesterday. When I say yesterday, I mean Friday's trading session. The previous day of trading. We also have this pre-market low here and a pre-market high here. So what am I looking for? I'm looking for us to establish a direction. If I'm looking to the upside, I want to see us hold and break above Friday's high of day. I'd like to see us hold and break above this level. And if we establish an uptrend, I'm expecting us to, obviously with only about like a 40-cent difference, I would expect us to break and hold above the pre-market high. Currently you see we're kind of selling off coming into the market. If we're in this range here, then I'm going to be going mostly off intraday levels, so levels that we print throughout the trading session. Since we'll be just within Friday's range, that might mean a bit more of a choppy day where we don't have an established trend necessarily. So to the upside, I want to see a break and hold above these levels. We would have to break pretty far low to break to the downside here. If we do come down, I'll look for support in this zone here. Nothing too crazy. We have the pre-market low, and we have this level that was based off like hourly and daily. That's a super prevalent level. That's kind of the range that we were in that we broke out of. So I think if we fail this 456.76, then we could potentially see maybe a continuation down to here, 455, 456, or yeah, potential continuation down to those levels. So that being said, I am gonna get these wise order and entry tools up there. I might collapse that for now. We have the 5-minute chart. We're selling off pretty hard into the open. Got the hourly chart here. I'm gonna look at setting up my option chains here. Strike to 6. We're going for tomorrow's expiration. As far as calls, maybe like 458. That's somewhere up here. If we're up above, that's kind of what I'm looking for. In terms of puts, maybe like a 457. Alrighty, let's see what we got going on here. So we're kind of coming up into that yesterday's. So I keep saying yesterday. We came up towards that Friday high of day area and rejected off of that, at least initially. We didn't quite fully test it, but it does look like there's some selling occurring up there. Trying to apply a lot more patience. You know, trying to read the price, let the chart tell me what's going on, rather than going in with a bias or applying my own, essentially, a bias to it. So unless we get a break to this upside, it looks like we're probably going to be in like a more of a choppy day where we bounce around in this range in here, I'm guessing. But we're opening pretty close, so there's potential for us to break above. If we do break above these areas, I'm looking for a higher low to enter calls. I would like... I wish I could have like different sets of essentially like visual differences. If I could create another price level, but this would be like an intraday price level without having to individually edit each one. So we are testing that Friday high of day. See if we can break above it here. So the intraday levels I'm going to chart with these gold lines here. So I've marked the low of the day. And I'll try to keep it pretty consistent. I don't want to make too many markups, but just keeping track of like where we're at in terms of the low and the high of the day to help establish more of a direction or an idea of even at least a short-term trend. So a little less than a minute on this candle. We'll see where this closes. I might need to adjust this. I'm not going to make a high of the day yet, because that's pretty much the top area of that Friday resistance that I was looking at, the high of day from Friday. So that area is pretty well established. I don't need to mark that. Looks like the music's a little loud. I might turn that down just a little bit there. There we go. Looks like it's better. Alright, so it looks like we are closing near the bottom. We had a little bit of a jump up, and you see this green print immediately. So far this low of day is holding. Let's go solid power. It's boosting. Alright, so it looks like we're coming up to retest this Friday's high of day area again. Definitely see some more selling in that area again as we approach it and start to wick down. So yeah, we're definitely facing some selling pressure up there as we kind of approached into that area. You can see we're wicking down again. We're gonna retest this low that we set previously. It looks like we're wicking right off that. So we're in this range here, a little bit of like a 40-cent range. So no trades to be taken yet. We're just gonna hang out and see how things go. I'm gonna actually double check. I usually do this as part of my pre-market routine, and I realize I forgot to do so. I'm gonna check the economic reports and make sure there's nothing happening today that would catch me off guard. Nope. There's no economic data being released that would be sufficient enough to cause any changes. I know that we have earnings coming up. But those should either be pre or post market, so shouldn't have an impact on intraday price action. I think the biggest thing that I really learned from assessing my trading was just patience. I think I got impatient in a lot of trades. I mean, I took a trade every single day, and I think that sometimes that was pushing it, taking a trade where there wasn't one to be taken, or not a good one at least. So for me, it's just about kind of reining it in a little bit, being more patient, having not a crazy set of rules, but just a list of like 10 or so rules that I adhere to every day to prevent myself from doing something stupid, essentially. It's coming back up to test Friday's high again. The high and the low of the day are still relevant. We have not set a higher high or a lower low since the opening candle. So pushing up into this area, we'll see if we can break through. If we can break through here and then break through here, that's a pretty good sign of an uptrend, and I will be looking to take calls on a pullback. But we'll see about that. Alright, so we're opening up right in that area. Looks like we're pushing up. Do we set a new high? So it looks like we set a new high. Now the test is, can we close above that? So we're definitely showing some strength. typically a break of or the previous trading day's high and then a retest of this area would be a good or sufficient reason for me to enter a call. If we break above, pull back and hold this level. I don't think I'll do it here because we have the pre-market high just about 30 seconds, or 30 seconds, 30 cents above it here. So taking a call here and having a potential resistance 30 cents above it, you know, you could squeak out a little scalp, but I'd really like to see us break above both of these areas, and then we have much more room to play there. If we do break to the upside, we're looking at like 459, potentially a 458.6 or so. So I guess you could mark the high. So those are kind of the price targets. If we could break above, we'd look for continuation and probably take profits into these areas if we reach them. But we're having some trouble. Definitely seeing some resistance up here. Oops, didn't mean to zoom out that far. It's like a level every 50 cents, essentially. It's almost to the point where you don't need to draw levels. It's almost like operating on whole numbers there. All right, so we broke above. We got still 2 minutes or so in this candle. We're showing some strength. So we are pushing up for the pre-market high. Quite a bit of strength on this move here. So we broke through it. Now is excuse me. Now is when I'd be looking for a pullback and probably continuation upwards. If we can break above that pre-market high. If we get rejected off here, like I said, I'm not gonna necessarily look to take a call when we're so close to resistance. So right at the end of that candle, we wicked down. We're opening up higher, so that's showing some strength. We set a new high, but we are getting some selling happening up here. We're definitely seeing some resistance. I've only made one level intraday, and that's been the low that we set off of that opening candle. But so far, the highs of the days have pretty much coincided with our levels of resistance, so nothing to mark there. Definitely getting a bit of lower volume here. I mean, this is a pretty fresh candle, but we pushed up and are selling off. Just still struggling to break above that pre-market high. We keep pushing up into it. See if this candle will be the one to close above it. If not, we might get a rejection off of it. So we're pushing back down. We'll see if we hold this this area from Friday's high of day. Looks like we are so far. Got about a minute left on this candle. I expect us to kind of bounce around in here before we make any sort of move, whether that's a move downwards or a continuation back up. I wouldn't be looking for a call here. Typically, yes, but with that so close to the pre-market high that we've rejected off of twice, I'm not so sure that I'd want to take a call with that small of a excuse me, that small of a margin. So we have set a higher low. This is a new higher low that we've made here. We have our high of day around the pre-market high. So I'd really like to see us set a high above the pre-market high. If we can break out of that, that's when I'll be looking for entries on pullbacks. pushing up into that pre-market high again. See if this is the one to do it. Still showing a lot of resistance up here. So you could have taken a quick scalp off this bounce and sold at this resistance. You know, it would have been a pretty, maybe about like $15 move or so. But like I said, that's too much of a, I don't know, too close to resistance to take a call there for me. These are levels marked off of Wednesday, I believe it was. Or Thursday's trading session. So these would be areas to look out for if we break to the upside, in terms of areas to take profit. But yet to be confirmed by today's trading. So we've rejected off here. We'll see if we hold Friday's high. We've broken below it. Got about a minute left in this candle, so it looks like we're getting a bit of a sell-off. It is on lower volume. Some buyers stepping in here. So we close below. Kind of testing that opening print area here. There's a big sell-off. All right, so we've officially established a downtrend. We have a lower low. We failed to make higher highs up here above the pre-market high, so we have this. And we've broken this kind of uptrend that we were in. We've set lower lows now. You could have looked for puts off of the retest and failed to break the pre-market high. I think once we wicked at it a few times, may have been some justification in taking a put up there. I did not, but it would have played out pretty nicely at this point. Now what I'm looking for is if we close down here, I'm looking for a retest of this area. I'm looking for a retest of the previous low and see if we can get a reject. Wow, we are really selling off. So we've reached this area. This was an area that I said was key to maintain above if we're looking for bullish or calls. I'll go on the 1 hour chart here and we'll look at why. It's been kind of a resistance flip turn to support once we get above it. If we break below that, the next target would be this 455.86. So I was looking for a retest of the low of the day. With how much we're selling off here, we might look for a retest of this level here. We just have to kind of see how this candle plays out. We still have about 2 minutes left in it. And we are continuing to sell off pretty aggressively. So that's wild. Got like a 2x if you bought puts at the top here. So pretty wild. Super high volume coming in on that. Looks like we might close above this level here, so then a retest of the previous low of day would be valid. I have to mute myself. Got a work call going on in the background, so I will not be speaking, but I am here, and I'll be looking to take a trade on a retest of a low. All right, see you guys.